Hey guys, what's up? What going on? It's your girl Nika of Traveling with Nika, and today I am back with another video for y'all, and we are actually going to be talking about the ETIAS system and the new travel requirements that is going to be going into effect in 2024 for those who are going to be traveling to Europe from certain countries. I know you guys have definitely seen all of the different headlines saying that US citizens are going to have to do a visa to go to Europe, this, that, and the third. And I'll definitely put some of those, headlines for those articles on the screen. But that's actually not true. It is literally not a visa. And for those who are like UK citizens, for example, you guys would know that when you visit the US, so the ESTA is what you guys would have to fill out for when you are visiting the US. So now to go to Europe, and it's specific countries in Europe, and we will get into that list shortly, but it's going to be for specific countries in Europe where US citizens, but not only US citizens of like 59 other countries as well will have to do this travel authorization. So I just kind of wanted to bring it down a little bit and really just inform the public on what it actually is and what it's not. And just off the bat, it's not a visa. Okay, let's get into it. So the ETIAS is actually called the European Travel Information and Authorization System, and it's basically going to act as a very simple travel authorization that you would need to fill out in 2024 when you are going to be visiting certain European countries. So the list of countries that are affected, I will put those on the screen. If you are a passport holder for countries, you will then have to fill out this authorization in 2024. There is not a specific date. This has actually been out for a while. It was supposed to go into effect before, and they kept pushing it. Now we'll see if it actually goes into effect in 2024, but there is not a set date as yet. So it is estimated that over 1.4 billion individuals from 60 plus countries are going to be affected by this new system being in place for this travel authorization. When I actually look at the list, I have traveled to some of these European countries, so at least I got them out of the way before this came into play. But I'm going to put the list of these countries that are going to be requiring the ETIAS travel authorization on the screen so that you guys can see it there. So the travel authorization will actually be linked to your travel document, such as your passport, and it will last for up to 3 years or until your passport expires, whichever one basically comes first. So if you apply and you only have 2 more years until your passport expires, you will only be able to use that ETIAS travel authorization for the 2 years that your passport would be valid for. Otherwise, it will last for 3 years. If you do lose that travel document, for example, your passport, you will have to apply for a new travel authorization because it is linked to that passport that you applied with. So with the travel authorization, you would be able to access these European countries for at least 90 days within a 180-day period. So you want to keep that in mind. And this is also for short-term stays. This is not for you to live or work in Europe. Regarding the cost of the travel authorization, if you are under the age of 18 or above the age of 70, they are actually exempting you from paying this fee. And again, it's only €7. There are also other exemptions, like if you are a family member of an EU national, etc. And you can definitely read more about that with the link that I'm going to put in the description box. So now we're going to talk about the actual application process and what you're going to need to put into your application to get through this travel authorization. So of course, you're going to have to make sure that you have a valid travel document, example, a passport, and whatever you would need to be able to travel to those countries, even without this travel authorization. Make sure that you check those requirements prior to even trying to apply. The actual application itself will of course ask you for all of your personal details, so definitely be prepared for that. Of course, your name, you're going to have to provide your email address, phone number, your parents' first names, etc. be prepared to provide that personal information. You would of course need to also put in all of your travel document details, such as your passport, and that would include like your passport number, expiration, etc. They're actually also collecting like your education and your occupation details as well, so make sure that you are prepared to answer those questions. When you fill out the application, it will ask you about your intended stay and basically which of those countries that require the travel authorization, which of those countries that you are actually going to be traveling to. One of the things that I did read during my research is, even if you do the travel authorization and you pick, let's say you choose Belgium, right, as your intended place of stay, even if you end up changing, where you're going to be going when you initially fill out the travel authorization, you actually don't need to like go back in and like change or make a new travel authorization. You just need to do your best estimate of where would be the first place that you would be visiting using the travel authorization. So let's just say that you want to apply and make sure that you get this secured and approved prior to any type of travel. You can do that once the application is available. And then they're gonna basically ask you about like criminal convictions and other pertinent details. From what I've read, this application process is going to be super simple, and they are expecting to basically approve most applications within a few minutes. And you have to make sure that you have a valid email address on file, because this is how they're going to be communicating to you about your approval or your denial, or that they need more information from you. So make sure that you're reviewing your application and make sure that your details and your information is up to date and accurate. If your application isn't approved within the first few minutes of submitting, it can possibly take up to 4 days. If it doesn't get approved within that time, you may have to submit additional information within 14 days. And then if they still need more information from you, your application can take up to 30 days to be approved, because you may have to go through like a virtual interview or actually visit a local consulate. One of the other important things about filling out your travel authorization and ensuring that your travel document, like your passport, is up to date, you have to make sure that it's actually valid 3 months after your visit. So please do not try to visit any of these countries with less validity on your passport. If someone is helping you fill out your ETIAS travel authorization, they can actually help you. They would be required to sign a declaration document when they fill out your travel authorization on your behalf. So let's say a family member is helping you out, or you go through like a travel agent who is providing this service, they would need to make sure that they fill out that declaration document. You also would need to sign that declaration document as well. One important thing to note for those who are going to be traveling with their families, you actually have to do one of these authorizations for each individual. They are not going to be allowing you to add like family members on your authorization. It is for each individual. And again, if the individuals are under the age of 18 or 70 and above, they won't have to pay the fee. One thing to note about the cost for the travel authorization is it's actually non-refundable whether you got approved or not. So just keep that in mind. You're just submitting this and you know that it will be non-refundable. The other thing is that even though you don't need to print out this authorization, because it is going to be linked to like your passport, so the appropriate authorities would be able to see that you have the authorization once they pull up your information with your passport. But I still highly recommend keeping a digital copy with you, and you may want to print a copy as well, just for your own convenience. There's a bunch of other frequently asked questions that you can definitely check out on the official website, and I will leave a link in the description box so you can read more about it. But I hope this video was super helpful with really informing you, if you are a US citizen or other nationals that are affected by this new travel requirement for Europe, that you are informed and you know what it is and what it is not. And again, it is not a visa. It is just a very simple travel authorization. And these type of authorizations are applicable to others as well when they travel to the US, for example. So it's not like it's this brand new thing that just came out of nowhere. Definitely, I don't think it's going to be very difficult to complete at all, based on all the information that I researched and what I gave you in today's video. So make sure you are subscribed to my channel so you don't miss out on these very important videos, and of course my travel vlogs as well. Bye.